Welcome everyone. Today we have our another new episode with one of the famous entrepreneurs from Australia. He is Australian-based Indian, and he has a very interesting AI companies. And the World Talent Economic Forum become their partner for CEO development program, and we want to move forward. So, Mr. Sharath Patel, can you please introduce yourself, your work with our audience, and so on?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Sharif. To begin with, I remain and I'm forever a student. I'm here to learn from the best. The journey has been one where I have used my own personal struggles as well as my own personal experiences of having to start my life here as an international student, to then surviving as an international student, to then thriving with my ventures, and then of course getting into building this platform using lots of personal, I guess, research and development and experiences. So Skitter, as you rightly know, it stands for Skills Training for Employability and Entrepreneurship. It's a 80/20 platform where 80% of learning happens through practice, and then feedback is provided, and the 20% is through theory. And the way our learners learn is by getting put into simulated environment, practicing various different scenarios, situations, real life use cases, and then feedback loops are provided, so using text-based AI, voice-based AI, and video-based AI. And the learners then are provided intelligence so that they can then we can build personalized learning pathways, and they can then of course achieve their individual learning outcomes and goals, which help them of course with their careers and entrepreneurship in general. So that's what Skitter is all about. And I've spent over almost 5-6 years sort of building this platform out. We've just recently launched it, in 2025, and we've launched it in India. Of course, we've got clients, in India. We've got clients here in Australia, and we are very, very excited, and we are looking for, obviously, talking to people such as yourself and platforms to just let them know that, hey, here is a technology, here is our platform, and we are very, very open to work with anyone and everyone, where we believe that whilst learning is important, whilst knowledge is important, whilst degrees are important, it's more important these days to become job ready, or to have people skills and soft skills and human centric skills, which is going to become much more critical over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, just as we are solving the global problem together, especially in the AI era, you are providing training to the lot of people. How do you attract and retain top global talent in your company, and how many students right now involved in your company? And I know you are working with IIT and many university and corporations. Can you share your experience with our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Attracting talent I guess it's a bit of a challenge. Purely because the talent, or the next generation, or the next gen talent is going to be, or it is becoming a lot more selective, a lot more informed, a lot more educated. They're a lot more intelligent because of they are gathering their information from so many sources. Of course, internet is the largest source, but along with that, they are also becoming a lot more educated, a lot more opinionated at times about what is it they want out of a career, or out of a job, or a place to work. So we generally attract talent by offering them meaningful problems to solve. So not just role based, but when we interview them, or when we put them through a process, we have business heads, or we have heads which um, for example, there is a team that takes care of all of our front end, back end, or actually the core engine development. So the head of those, or the participants, or the team members in that team, then they write meaningful meaningful problem, or they prepare, some kind of a test, which is then rolled out to any incoming candidate. Now, this is where they not only test them on their technical skills or coding skills and the hard skills. They actually look at whether they have entrepreneurial streak in them, or whether they have a problem solving streak in them, or they think critically. And this is the kind of process that has always worked for us. We also are very big users of our own platform and our own technology, where we then, once we select them, then we put them through 3 to 4 weeks of, I guess, learning loop, where they go and practice our LMS, and they go and practice our activity, all that intelligence and the feedback is provided, not only for their own personal growth, but it's also very important for us to then help them assimilate better within our culture and our company. So our teams, they work on very purpose-driven technology and hiring, which then makes it very tangible, for the retention. And that comes retaining them and attracting talent, or enticing them to our company. It comes from giving them a lot of autonomy, giving them that possibility of continuously keep learning, exposure to the real life outcomes, and overall building a culture where there is a very clear value proposition, very clear entrepreneurship, very clear ownership, partnership, uh, and that also is also very trust based. So relationship, I guess, in these days, or retaining top talent, has to be trust based, and has to be by providing them clarity on the long-term growth versus the short-term optics. So there was, I know that last, I guess, probably last decade was a lot more about, the short-term optics of, okay, here is your staple stock options, or here is your, I guess, fancy office or fancy environment, or that is no longer working, or I don't think that will be relevant for the next 5 to 10 years, because people look for a lot more meaningful, I guess, problem solving as a company or as an entity or enterprise that you are doing, and they want to belong to that movement, and that it has to be aligned to their personal values. So we always spend a lot of time in finding that out, and if it is, and we always find some sort of alignment, because they also have to contribute as much as we have to offer them in terms of place of career or
So,
work.
so I see that you a long time you are contributing for career development and this kind of thing. So, what skill will be most important for tech leaders in the next 5 years?
Um, Systems, I guess, critical thinking or learnability. I was listening to, I think it was, Mr. Khosla, who, is a very renowned VC. He recently said that learnability is going to be the super skill or superpower and that's so true. I'm a big believer of that. That just focusing on only one element is very hard, or let's say, for argument's sake, if you're looking for a candidate who only can think critically, or who are very emotionally aware, that's just not going to be good enough. I mean, it is of course important, but the thinking that is grounded in human judgment is more important, as of course AI automates execution, and workflows are constantly becoming a lot more I guess automated. Leaders must understand that technology and people, ethics, and business outcomes, they all intersect, and they are becoming a lot more, I guess, meshed. I was recently found out that as opposed to the previous way of thinking, that in a normal average sales or customer service or business development or coding role, there used to be a 30% human interaction involved, whereas now it is gone to 60 to 70%, which means that the way the businesses are interacting internally as well as with external customers, it has now become a lot more people centric. So of course that automatically means that the skill that is becoming most important is the learnability, because then that allows us to learn how to interact human to human, because the rest of it is going to be done by automated processes and AI. So the ability to make the nuanced decisions in a complex, fast evolving environments will be more valuable than just the technical depth alone. So that's the skill that I believe is very important for tech leaders in the next 5 years. Yes.
Mhm. Excellent. As your company is a training company, so an AI corporation. So how does your company use AI and emerging technology responsibility? Now, many big companies have their AI training, like Microsoft, like OpenAI, Nvidia. So how you differentiate your company? Because now anybody can join in online, lot of training programs. How you want to add value for this global community?
So our we are a very human centric AI learning platform. So we work specifically on building human capacity and capabilities. So all our tools. So naturally, the process is when a learner or when our platform is rolled out and integrated in any learning environment, we focus on one is skills gap analysis. From that we obviously derive the elements of where those skills need to be developed. Once we analyze the gaps, then we have the practice tools where the learners go and then they practice, and they are provided through practice. All the data points are collected, whether it's voice or video, and these are then processed, and then intelligence is provided, the feedback is provided, and the personalized learning pathways are done. Once we build those out, they are then required to go and repeat the same loop over and over again. The very important differentiator in our case is the LMS, where we convert complex topics, we break them down into micro nuggets and micro learning, and the learner then is pointed back. So the gaps, how they are fixed is, so on a general basis, the contemporaries, what they are doing, they are great at for example, they do a lot of skills gap analysis, but as an outcome or as a fix, they generally would point them to outward MOOCs courses or outward looking certifications. Whereas in our case, they have to go back and do the courses, or they have to complete the micro modules and the practice tools, which are built specific to that company or specific to that challenge that we're solving. So our design is an augmentation layer, not just a replacement of the human skills. And our models, they prioritize transparency, bias awareness, the contextual relevance. So all of that is explained, and we make sure that the learner then is able to understand all the feedback that is provided, and then is able to repeat those learning loops in a very platform agnostic manner. So they can obviously do the same learning, continue their learning on a mobile or on a laptop or any other digital interface. So that basically is where we heavily use artificial intelligence to sum it up in providing feedback and providing that sort of micro learning and bite-sized learning, which is the way this generation is learning. So that's the kind of so a true AI, I still believe, as I explained, Dr. Sharif, the other day, that it has to do five things. So it has to diagnose, it has to describe, it has to prescribe, it has to predict, and then of course it has to allow monitoring. And once you get all these five elements in that learning loop, and that makes that training, that learning, that acquisition of knowledge and skills 10 times better.
Mhm, mhm. Excellent. As you are great entrepreneurs and you are helping students to be a good entrepreneurs and leaders, so what leadership value guides your your decision makings, your thought process? I want to say as a CEO.
Um, I believe long-term integrity or short-term advantage is very, very important. So for myself and our leadership team, every difficult, I guess, decision is tested against one question, which is that does this compound the trust, does this build trust with our users, with our partners, with our employees, with our larger ecosystem, right? So over time, because if it does not, then generally we would not go for it, because whether it's a small fix with our platform, or I guess a small fix with our team, or any decision that is going to impact the business, we always look at what is going to be the long term impact our vision, our mission, and whether it in any manner it is going to sort of erode at our integrity. We generally would not do that. So that element of integrity and element of adherence to our long term vision and mission is very, very important to our leadership value.
Mhm. Excellent. So, how do you promote diversity as you are from India? You establish your business and all of the things in Australia. So, how do you promote diversity and inclusion in your tech workforce? How do you manage it?
Look, we've got it's a great question, because we have we so talent is obviously agnostic, and it's besides and outside of any kind of bias. So we have absolutely no bias, no kind of no completely design thinking based hiring, and the kind of work culture that we built, right? So we focus on access and not just optics. So we don't believe in thinking that, okay, how is this going to look, or how will it look. So for example, we've got some of our team members are in this current environment, where people or young I guess talent, they are continuously wanting to work remotely and working from home. We have used that as an advantage, and as a great way of attracting talent from wherever they're sitting. So we've got talent who works. There are some of our team members, they work from some very remote places in India, because they have internet connectivity. Now, for us as a company, because we were still growing, and we are sort of building it out, it's important that we don't spend or overspend heavily to bringing them to our offices, or to a city where they need to then relocate, and then we have to deal with all of those sort of challenges of finding that extra fund and money to sort of bring them out there. Whereas we can still utilize and their talent wherever they're sitting. So we have gone ahead, and we are going against the norm, and we have kind of hired people from some very remote parts of India, and they actually so for example, we got someone, his name is Dhananjay. He's from a place called Parmani, which is quite remote, but he obviously had the talent, he had the hunger, he had the sort of the skill set that we needed. So we trained them. We trained him. We asked him to come up with certain courses that he wanted to take, so that to allow him to then be able to be a better contributor. And once we provided him that, and whilst he was sitting there in his in a hometown, or place, rural place where he lives, he is now become one of our best contributors. Similarly, inclusive hiring is we've got a built a pipeline with all kinds of talent, which is more skills based, and we never look at their pedigree, we never look at their sort of background, or that's or their languages, or the socio-economic background and culture. So by removing all these kinds of biases and all these kind of evaluation, sort of making it part of our evaluation process, where we just hire them based on their skills, the diversity has become kind of our strongest opportunity, and is now genuinely now distributed through our teams, and it is working fantastic for us. So we promote diversity and inclusion in a nutshell by actually not focusing on that, right? So we hire a person based on how we believe they will contribute, how we believe they will have a long-term association with us, and whether our visions are aligned, as opposed to looking at anything and everything. So we're very sort of color blind, we're very language blind, we're very culturally, very, very non-biased. So that has helped. That is how we build our very strong team. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. That is the things we want to collaborate. We already collaborate with your companies. Well, this is our scientific book on economics of talent management and human capitals. So this book actually published in 100 different countries and 100
Mhm.
different universities, including Harvard and Cambridge universities. And that is the way that we want to contribute with our scientific innovations, with our scientific research, and we want to bring your company in the global supremacies. Like all of the big company has to know about your initiative. Like you are great entrepreneur, you are the talent who build up all of the things. So we believe in talent. We believe people like you. That's why we collaborate with the CEO development program, and through this process we can uplift our South Asia. We can uplift India. We can uplift even Bangladesh or Pakistan, like even Nepal or Sri Lanka. So we have a huge amount of populations, and most of the populations actually youth. They need job. You are in exactly the right track. They need more support. We need a ethical society, right,
Mm.
based on talent. We have to build up an ecosystem for the talent. So that's why all of the famous people from around the world, they join in World Talent Economic Forum, and they join in the scientific innovations of this talent economy. And definitely your company has a very good innovations, and hopefully through this process we can uplift our community. What I say always, that I believe in Karma Jog, right? India has, and even the Muslim community has the same thing. It's called Amole Sali, the good work for people. So hopefully through this process, our initiative can bring most global attractions and bring more success. So what advice would you give to the young innovators entering the tech industries? You have a huge experience in this area. So what's your advice?
I guess one piece of advice would be, and this I'm just looking at the overall ecosystem of a startup in India, or for that matter, globally, is now becoming such an exciting space. And I'm very optimistic, like I said in our panel discussion the other day, that I remain extremely excited and optimistic about where things are heading. So, but one thing is that what I would one piece of advice, and if that would be to build depth before scale, because scale and numbers and attraction, and those are such important elements these days, or they've always been sort of been where immediately their attention grows for or goes for tech entrepreneurs, or young innovators. I would say that they forget that the building depth sometimes is more important. I think I was listening to Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, and he said, for a great company to be built, it takes about 7 years. Some of young innovators, they want instant gratification, so they want to build within. So they've got all these stories that come out, that a company that turned into a few $1 billion within a year or 2 years, and but they don't understand there was so much of research and development that went before they even started building the product, or while they were building the product, which is not part of that 1 year story. So that's important, that understanding should be developed, or the product should be developed before the speed. um, Learning how real life problems function, learning or utilizing first principle design thinking, not overthinking the problem, but just understanding that real problems or real life problems function very differently to theory. And in trying to just disrupt them is not the way to go. You first have to really technology is very powerful, right? When it is grounded in empathy, it's grounded in discipline, it is grounded in realism, with a clear sense of responsibility and consequences, as opposed to some short-term gain or gratification. So that's my advice, that research your uh, product or innovation or the area that you want to get into thoroughly, And one very important element which I always say is that fail as much as you want or you have to. Don't be afraid of failing, because without failing, obviously, there is success is kind of not possible, as I would
Yeah. Thank you,
personally.
thank you, thank you for your excellent contribution. So that's why we believe in actions, and the World Talent Economic Forum institutions and your company, we go for collaborations, and through this process, hopefully we can bring more success and progress for our communities. I request all of our audience, please share our content as much as possible with the government agency, corporation, and academia. And thank you, Mr. Sharath Patel, for your excellent contributions for this world, for the young community, for this talent economy. You are also part of this talent economy. So I want to invite you in our World Talent Economic Forum's board as a board of advisors for our talent, for our innovators. And already we have entrepreneurs from around the world, and we are contributing in through this global north and global south collaborations. Thank you. Bye bye, and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.